I foretold of its coming, and it is here. The Batman. I watched it. I knew 5 things before I turned it on. 1. This movie is stupid long. 4 minutes short of 3 hours. I don't like that. This Bruce Wayne looks like he never puts on the Playboy mask. Don't like that. Riddler seems like he wants to be the Zodiac Killer. I don't like that. And I also know that Brandon, as was revealed in The Dark Knight All or Nothing, said that Thomas Wayne is corrupt. I certainly don't like that. The 5th and final thing that I knew, and it's because I was told this, again by Brandon, Josiah, and, it's easy to figure out. Penguin, Catwoman looked like they were done well. So, this week, current critique, The Batman. Watched it, not a damn thing changed. Everything that I knew remained the same. Everything I thought, stuck with it. This is a 1 out of 5 film to me. It is a fail. But because the boys were here for 89 through 90 and the Dark Knight trilogy, after the open rolls, Brandon will be here, Josiah will be here, and hopefully somebody has something good to say about this movie, because I don't. So, I took I took a bunch of notes. But the funny thing about my notes are, the more I typed, the more mad I got at this movie. So only 2.5 of the pages are typed, 4 of the pages are handwritten. Because that's how much I dislike the film, is that even just thinking about it while typing up notes made me unhappy. But before we dive down deep into my unhappiness, let's talk about something wonderful. That being my 68-page graphic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, All Day Long. There is a link in the description of this video for my 68-page graphic novel, which is back on Indiegogo. There are 5 covers total. We've got 4 of them in our hands. And there are also hats and t-shirts. Like I said, posters. Everybody gets a sticker. Anybody who makes a purchase. So, like I said, before we get down deep into my unhappiness, I just had to talk about something that makes me ultra happy, that being Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 on Indiegogo. Thank you. Guys, thank you for coming back and finishing out this here Batman trip that we've been on.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about the other 90 movies, so might as well.
Well, the funny thing is that there are 2 movies that aren't in the Batman franchise, but are adjacent to Batman, that being Catwoman and The Joker, that I have never watched. But I'll say this. If all 3 of these videos, the quadrilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, and the Batman current critique get above 300 views, all of them get above 300, then we will watch The Joker and the Catwoman movies and
I'm not agreeing to watch that Catwoman movie again, but I will definitely review The Joker with you.
So I've never seen either, because both movies did exactly what the Batman did. They released a trailer, I watched it, and I said, I don't care. So, and if it wasn't for the channel, and the fact that I'm promoting Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 all day long, I wouldn't have watched The Batman, because...
Link for the Indiegogo in the description.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I still wouldn't have watched this, because all indications from the trailers told me this was not my Bruce Wayne. This was not my Batman. This was some character known as Vengeance, and that wasn't what I was wanting to watch.
Actually, me and Oz talked about this beforehand, and I 100% actually agree with him. This is coming from someone who actually likes the movie a lot.
Do you want to tell them what you gave it? Since
a 4 out of 5, a high 4. I believe the Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes is like 85%, 90% or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually
I didn't
I
check,
agree.
so thank
agree
you
with that. Yeah, that's
bring those numbers in.
And Josiah, you can give your.
Yeah. So technically, by Oz's scale, a 1 is a fail, because he would never watch it again. I technically have watched it twice, so I have to give it a 2 just by proxy.
Right.
The movie did some stuff well, and it did a lot of stuff, like Oz said, that is not good. One of the things that stood out to me, literally, like from the first 10 seconds of the movie, was Batman was basically doing Rorschach's journal. So,
Oh, that's a good call.
Wait, actually, so let's start at the beginning, because I think the beginning is going to turn people off already.
Oh, I hated the beginning.
Yeah,
Rorschach's journal.
Well, not that. Well, not that.
It's been marketing the city
Riddler.
for 2 years.
The Riddler's introduction.
His breathing, man.
You're right.
That breathing.
So the Riddler. So I think that there are 3 characters that are important to this movie.
I learned a term this week that I didn't know called the ick.
The Ick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So it's when a woman gets turned off on a dude or
Oh, okay.
that she was into. It's
Yeah.
called the ick. Oh,
Yeah.
The moment that the thing happened, it was.
Yeah,
always
that's
the
it. Is the Ick. Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, you're actually.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I learned it. I didn't know because I also had no desire to know. But regardless, I learned this thing, right?
Yeah.
And one of the icks, if you will, was he was breathing heavy. I'm like, she must be talking about the Riddler, because that's something that turned me off to that character quick.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Get Mask for you?
Well, it wasn't revealed at that moment.
You're talking about at the beginning. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. So the coming from someone who actually I like this movie, but I understand every complaint that Oz has.
It's so funny because I said that to Josiah too. I said it's crazy that we have virtually the same opinion, but just a different
Perspective.
We give different values to both the positives and the negatives. You give
Right.
the positives more high marks, and I give the negatives more high marks.
Mhm.
So
And the reason why I say that because I talked to Oz. Oz has helped me to understand unintentionally, but I don't really know these comic book characters like I thought I did.
the medium, that's what I helped
yes.
him understand.
Yes,
is the
the
medium
medium.
of comic books.
Before I would have been like, yes, I'm a fan. Of course, I'm a fan, and I'm a fan.
I know Batman.
Right, but then talking to Oz for all this time and hearing him just off the cusp and his joy and love of these characters. Batman's not even his favorite superhero character, but he can just off of just boom. It's like this is this issue. This is his artist. This is comic book. He is truly a fan.
Yep.
I am just someone who likes
The medium.
the medium, the character. And I even told him where I started was just Batman the Animated Series. And I seen all the
Starting
movies,
point,
of
to be
course.
fair.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right, and the only comic book that I read that was Batman was The Long Halloween. I didn't even know that there was 2
follow-ups.
follow-ups
Yeah,
past
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I didn't even know.
Do me a favor.
Mhm.
You don't mind if I give the secret away?
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
Go grab one of those. No. My book.
Oh, right here.
You have the Jeff cover, right?
Yes.
So this is just what I find to be the most entertaining piece of information. Hold that.
Yes, sir.
When we were having this conversation, not only was I intrigued and I felt complimented because that's what he was doing, was complimenting my knowledge, but I was also taken aback by the fact that Brandon Robinson has read as many Batman comics as he has Everlasting Survivors, and so I just thought that was an interesting development to come away with.
Yes.
That's
For this review, I've listened to so many people's reviews and about this movie, and the one thing that from Joe Rogan doing with Brendan
Joe
Schaub
Rogan.
and all this stuff, and people are like, "Yo, is this like the best Batman movie out?" And I was like, at first, I agreed. I would like when I first saw it, I loved this movie, and then I've seen this movie 5 times, and I do have issues with it, and people were like, "Yo, is this the best Batman movie?" And I started to think about it, like truthfully, and I'm like, actually, as a Batman movie, I believe that this is almost Batman Returns-esque.
Okay.
But to me, it's
Which is funny because I give those 2 movies the same score.
right.
Yeah.
But to me, the Batman Returns story is bad to me. But I like this story a lot better. But it's not. It's
Well, and I'll give this movie credit. Batman has more of a purpose
okay.
within this, whereas he could have not even existed in Batman Returns, and almost nothing would have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman still became Catwoman.
Yep.
Yes.
Oswald Cobblepot would still become mayor.
Mhm.
Like, Batman's presence had so little relevance to the ongoings of the movie that, yeah, to that degree, which I'm not going to change my
Yeah,
score,
yeah.
but to that degree, I can almost be convinced that this is better than Batman Returns, although via the score, they garner the
They're
same.
the
Right,
exact
but
same.
for two different
Yes.
Yes.
reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, for two different reasons. And I think conceptually, as a story, is better than Batman Returns
I agree with
and
that.
the plot. Now, the issue is this movie is very dark, like figuratively and literally.
Yes.
I was about to say I couldn't see crap through most of the movie. It was
Yeah,
I
everything
think
is
everything was set at nighttime,
except
minus
for
like
two
three
scenes.
scenes.
Two
Well, and the
scenes.
crazy thing is, we had talked off camera about how you weren't sure if this or Batman Begins was a better
Yeah.
first entry into a Batman
Correct.
franchise. But when it comes to the visual stylings, I think Batman Begins is vastly improved, or not improved, but superior to the Batman due to the beauty of so many things, whether it's Bruce's pursuit for understanding both himself and how to be better,
Right.
or the beauty of Gotham, even in its darkest hours. Just so many things about Batman Begins were beautiful, whereas so many things within this were bleak and almost depressing. I don't know if I'd go.
Well, I would.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
would because, but so this is where where we different of opinion. Like we agree, but then I look at it a different way.
Yeah.
So with Gotham, to me, it's figuratively almost like Bruce Wayne's psyche.
Okay, I like that.
And he's dark
Sounds pretty good.
because he doesn't see the light. Once again, there's only Batman mentioned once, and that comes from Batman's face when he's talking to Commissioner Gordon. He's like,
Right.
"This could be the end," and Commissioner Gordon says, "Of what?" He said, "The Batman." That's the only time
Yep.
that Batman by character name is mentioned. Everything
he
else is
mentions the
by
rest of the movie.
vengeance. And what Josiah was saying is he gives his Rorschach journal. You can't explain that.
Yeah, but it's true. It's
Yeah.
almost
So
like a
literally,
story.
if you guys have seen Watchmen at all, do you have Watchmen?
Of course.
Yep.
What kind of question is that? Come on now. I have all but one of the tie-in books
Yeah.
because it hasn't been released in the proper size to fit with the scale all the rest of them.
Gotcha.
Hold it up a little bit more.
Hold up, I got you. Yeah. So this guy right here, Batman said, "I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm just gonna do what he does in his movie." And
That's a good call.
he literally, like, it starts where, and it's literally the only thing he doesn't do is give the date. Other than that, it's piece by piece. The city is corrupt. I am its only savior. I'm vengeance. And he's been doing this. So something really important in this movie that I didn't think about my first watch through that my friend actually explained to me is that it's only his second year being Batman.
Correct. 2 years.
2 years in.
Correct.
So
Yes, but before we continue down the
Go ahead.
number of years he's been Batman, what blows me away is the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne happened in 2001.
Oh, it did.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I did not know that.
So they play back when Thomas is doing his whole thing,
Yeah.
and the TV says that it was 2001.
2001.
okay.
They actually, it's
And-
canonically in 2001.
And
Wow.
so I was just like, it's hard to wrap my head around Bruce Wayne being a child in 2001
Yeah.
and the Waynes dying, because so many tellings of Batman's origin have been in, if not specifically a time long gone, visually represented by a undefinable time period. Like you said about Batman the Animated Series, it
Yeah.
intentionally
Could have
looked.
happened at any time.
Yes, exactly.
yes.
It had computers, but also had classic looking cars.
Cars. Exactly.
Had a movie theater, but was playing The Legend of Zorro.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. There. The time frame. There was no.
There was
It
no.
was meant to be ambiguous.
You couldn't set it,
Yes.
Right.
which is important.
Right.
And so when they set the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne in 2001, I was just like,
Well, that sucks.
so, and it was actually post 9/11
Mhm.
because I'm pretty sure that the camp, yeah, because the
Campaign was
campaign.
in winter. Like
Well,
winter?
it was happening, around. Well, it's around 9/11, we'll say,
Okay.
because he's running for mayor and elections happen in
election
November.
in November. Yeah.
And so I assume that this movie was or that
It takes place the beginning scene takes place on Halloween. That's why everybody's wearing masks.
Right.
and
Masks,
It's
yeah.
November.
We're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point was just that. So it's the second year playing Batman, and one thing I do give this movie credit for is it's a detective movie. Like
Yes.
it's not a whodunit. Well, it's kind of a whodunit.
Yeah, it is.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a whodunit, but it's kind of like we already know who did it. So
Yeah, we the audience. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's more just watching Batman do his
Well,
detective work, and I'm like, man, he sucks at being a detective.
It's kind of like watching Seven for the second time.
Yeah.
You already know who did it, but you still want to watch.
This Matt Reeves to me copied off of David Fincher's style. David Fincher is the one who just directed Seven,
Yeah.
Panic
Fight Club,
Room,
right?
Fight Club.
Did
right.
he Fight Club?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
he's my favorite director.
Yeah.
So
What was the one that wasn't Fight Club and Seven?
Panic Room
I haven't
with
seen it.
Jodie Foster.
Okay.
And
I have
Young.
seen that one. I forgot about
Yeah.
that movie.
Okay.
And
I was gonna say because I like 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
Panic Room is
Panic
actually
Room's a good movie.
Good,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
movie. So
Do you know how I knew it was David Fincher? Because he wrote the comic tie-in to Fight Club.
okay,
Nice.
okay, I didn't know that.
So-
No, that's actually I gotta read
Everything
that.
ties in.
So I like the introduction or his monologue because it gives 2 distinct things about this Batman.
Let's hear it.
It's one, he's young.
Okay.
2 years into it, he's
He's a baby. pretty
right.
much.
He
He's
doesn't know
newborn.
everything yet, so he's gonna make mistakes. 2, it gives his mindset, and it's already flawed. From the beginning, it's flawed because he says he's been at it for 2 years,
Yep.
and
Nothing's getting better.
nothing is getting better.
Yep.
Something is wrong, but he can't pinpoint it. And why? Is because he's just driven by one thing. Now, this is
Vengeance.
where it can get negative or positive depending, but it's hit on its head that he's doing things by vengeance.
Yep.
And I like when he says that, hey, they think I'm in the shadows. And you see like the criminals are looking in the shadows.
Yeah.
But the previous scene with the Riddler, this is where he's in the shadows.
Yes.
You see the current mayor.
I get the analogy.
Right. He's the current mayor
My bad.
is
You're
watching TV and the phone rings, and then all of a sudden it's dark while he gets the phone and the TV turns on, and the Riddler is standing right behind him with his glasses glaring.
Classic horror movie tactic.
Right. It's a horror movie. I actually jumped. I was like, oh crap, he was there the whole time. It was actually pretty jarring. Now, the Riddler is not the Riddler from the comic books.
Not even
at
in the ballpark.
all. Like that.
He's also not Jim Carrey, so I mean, that's a positive or negative depending on who you are.
Right. It's totally not this is their own portrayal. Honestly, I wish they kind of just came up with their own character.
Somebody that wasn't the Riddler, but
Yeah, they just could make up a character and
Right.
call them like
the question.
Yeah, the
Nope,
question.
that
No,
exists.
well, the politician or the exposer.
The
You know,
exposer.
something.
something philosophical, something that got the point across without it being a known character in the comic.
Yeah.
I get the vibe you're going for.
Because Oz, talk about like the Riddler from like the comic
Well, so
books. and-
here's my impression, right? So of this Riddler, barring the killings, he's close, right? He leaves puzzles, that's good.
Mhm.
Good.
He's intelligent, that's good. It's literally the killings is the only thing that really turns. Well, that's not true. The costume obviously
Yes.
throws me off.
No hat.
But I'll even give the costume a pass because he's not dead, and thus, with him not being dead and now being revealed to the police, he could easily be fully public from this
Yeah.
point forward. You know, no need for a mask. Just put your glasses on with your hat, and you're good to go.
He's saying
So
he has a future.
and so I can allow
Ooh.
the costume to slide, especially given the Joker asking the Riddler a puzzle when they're both locked up.
Okay.
And so I can let the costume slide. It's literally only the killings, and I'll be honest, the friendship between him and Joker even made me want to dismiss the killings.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Not fully,
Okay.
obviously.
Right,
I still have issue with them. However, I do accredit the film for justifying the choices that it made. Right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
But here's my problem.
Mhm.
It isn't his costume. Do I love the killings? Not at all. But can I find a justification for them? Yes. My problem with the movie is the same problem that I had and we talked about when it came to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I believe there is a good to great movie in this pile of time.
I hope so. There's like 3 hours of it.
Exactly. It's almost impossible to not be able to cut down a good one. So I think if this movie went from 2 hours and 54 minutes to a tight, let's say 145, it would make everything punchier. It would make everything more valuable. We sure wouldn't have to have the same entrance theme song like for the Imperial March every time Batman walks into the damn
That was
scene.
actually a
was
criticism. I liked it. I do like the score, but the issue
It's the repetitiveness.
Yeah, the second and third time around is the repetitiveness of it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's a good theme.
I'm about to say, first time it hits, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
that's
great,
not,
it's
that's
good,
not
but
bad.
then-
I didn't complain the first time I heard it. I was
Right.
like,
But then
what are we
was-
doing?
Once we got it for the 5th time, I'm like, okay, guys, I get it. He's here.
right. And so I'm going to talk all about another negative that I have with this movie.
Oh, you got a negative.
Before,
Oh,
right.
before you get to negative, I
Yeah.
gotta say, Mr. Super Oz, the channel, and Oz myself approve Penguin being called Oz.
oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes, that's something that I actually do love.
I just thought it was fun.
Yes. So a negative that I have with this movie is actually the relationship between him and Alfred. I think this
absolutely
is
non-existent.
this is the
Rebellious
I think
teenager,
the
emo
best.
kid.
Well, I think the best portrayal is the Batman Begins relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
dynamic.
Second best would be the
Clooney?
Yeah, either Clooney, Kilmer.
Well, I meant Clooney because of dealing with Alfred's dying
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
deathbed. That's
Okay.
why
That's
I
a
was
good-
giving him extra
Okay.
credit.
Fair,
Okay.
fair.
Okay, I just like that actor.
Oh,
period, so
absolutely.
he's
The
good. But yeah,
actor's
that
great,
makes-
but I just mean Clooney's dealing with the death of a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
It really
Okay.
bumps him up to
Yeah.
the number
Yeah,
two
gets the emotional
relationship.
levels.
Yes. And then this would be the third. And the reason why is, one, there isn't a relationship. Now, there's a reason for that to me, and that is, so, to me, this Batman is, take Christian Bale's Batman, but without meeting Ra's al Ghul and going into that, the League of Shadows training.
Mm-hmm.
It
Because,
feels like this guy didn't have any training.
well, he
I mean, he did lose a fist fight in the middle of the movie, and then at the end of the movie, and then he got shot. So yeah, his training isn't as good.
well, yeah, he's not. How do I explain it? Like, once again, he's young and he's making mistakes. Like, for example,
He's a young dumb kid. Okay.
For example, this is canon and it can't be canon. It's the deleted scene with him and the Joker talking.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
If you notice, he makes a mistake.
You said
Well,
it can't be?
some people don't.
Okay,
Because
so there's
it's
an
not in the
argument.
movie.
Yep,
So,
that's
so
fine.
we're having
Continue.
that. We're having that. If a tree falls in the woods, didn't make any
fall.
noise conversation.
Right.
Because
I
to
put
me,
in
it
there.
has to have made a noise because it fell.
Right, and I
Just
believe
because
that it
just
is.
because I didn't hear it doesn't mean it didn't make the noise. Because
Right.
we know what happens when trees fall.
Exactly.
They make a noise.
Exactly.
So by that transitive property, you can have Joker and Batman have a conversation even if you weren't there to see it.
Yes, exactly.
So go ahead with your
Yeah.
conversation.
Watching that video, it's very cool because you see that Batman hands over the case file to him,
Right.
but you see that there's a safety pin. There's two, one that's holding the picture up here and one that's holding the side. And when he's talking, the Joker's talking, and he's like, "Hey, have you seen these files?" And then Batman's like, "Hey, you're just wasting my time." The Joker puts it back. Batman reaches it. The picture's flimsy. The Joker actually took one of the safety pins, so he can
mean
escape.
paper clips?
Yeah, paper clips. Sorry.
Okay.
Paper
Check.
clips, so he could escape.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confused on what.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah,
I was,
sorry.
in my
Okay.
mind I was
Yeah,
like,
paper clips. Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen the scene, so.
Yeah.
oh, me either. Me either. I just going by logic. I was
Yeah.
like, probably a paperclip.
Yeah, paperclip. And he took it so he can break out. But Batman doesn't even register like
Guess
he
he's a
took
rookie.
Well, that and to me, it also helps with the friendship scene when Joker asks Riddler, what becomes more valuable the less you have of it, and he says friend. And so if he's able to give him the paperclip to get himself out,
Mhm.
then it would then encourage the Riddler to get him out. Ta-da! Movie number 2.
Yes. And-
Although I understand why they cut it, maybe I would have brought it back because you cannot put any additional scenes in this thing. That would have made it like 3 minutes or 3 hours and 8 minutes or something,
right.
something
It's
like
been
that.
3 hours and some change.
And the Joker pretty much gives Batman like, this is what he's doing. This is why he's doing it.
Oh, he gives them all the answers.
You're right. Yeah, he gives like literally. He's like, this is why he's doing it.
I see why he took that out of the detective movie. then.
Right,
Probably
because
wouldn't
it's
be.
like, the Joker spells out everything that the Riddler's doing.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so they just cut it.
Right.
But yeah, so to me, the three most important characters in this movie is Batman, Catwoman, or Selena Kyle,
Yep.
and Riddler.
Okay,
Because
quick
there's-
short aside about
Yeah.
Catwoman. Loved everything about her, but the mask. The mask drove me
Yeah.
insane. Like it literally looked like. So first of all, I don't know how much the budget was for this movie, but it was definitely high millions,
Mm-hmm. It's
Especially for
150 million. I think.
150 million. And in those $150 million they had, they looked like they said, "Oh my God, go to Walmart, get a ski mask, cut it up, and then we'll cut it so it has little pointy bits so it looks like cat ears, and then we'll slap it on there. Oz just pulled this mask out of his closet. This is the better mask than what Selena Kyle had. My God.
Oh, damn. That actually
The red hood is here.
Oh, wow.
This mask was $50, $49.99 from elucha.com. And so the point behind me grabbing it is that it is of superior quality to the costuming within this film.
That even
Also,
looks
it feels
good on-
better, too.
and it looks great on camera.
Yes,
Like,
it
actually
does. Yeah,
yeah, it really does.
dude, I wore this as cosplay one year.
Uh-huh.
I had this BMX jacket that I painted a red bat on.
Mhm.
It was good times.
That was
Oh,
dope.
nice,
I like this.
nice.
It was the last day I ever wore contacts.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
they were old,
Yeah.
super old.
But my point being, they made too much money for them to have that crappy mask. It just, like, the rest of the costume looked great. Like, it fit. I can't remember the actress's name now, but it fit.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoe Kravitz. Fit her very well. She looked great in it. She was able to do all her action stuff, and then she just had this little elementary school mask that a effing 4-year-old child could have got.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it's just a mask with little tiny.
Yeah,
little
it was
things.
so. It's just so frustrating, and every time, like I usually hate it when because they do it all the time in these superhero movies. Like everyone just takes their mask off, and I'm like, do you not have a secret identity? What's the point of the mask if you're not gonna wear it?
Yeah.
But I was actually thrilled when she didn't wear this mask.
Right.
Or nano machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, all right, I'm glad you got those little robots off your face so the whole world can see who you are. Good job, guys.
Yes.
My God.
So
Like you were saying, yeah.
So to me, those are the three most important characters, and why? Because they all have the theme of vengeance.
I disagree. Well, you go
Yeah.
ahead with your theme.
How about
I
you?
was going to say there's one character to me that is most important.
Falcone.
No,
Thomas Wayne.
no.
John Cena. I don't know.
Alfred to me is the most important character because he does one thing that got this movie above a zero.
Oh, okay.
When Alfred stands up to Bruce, not physically stands up, but verbally stands up to Bruce in the hospital and says, "Stop putting your dad's name in the dirt,"
Yeah.
and says that Thomas Wayne was not corrupt, that was enough to get this movie out of the zero territory. Because I was going to give this thing an absolute trash zero until Alfred stood up for my man Thomas Wayne.
Ooh, you would hate the Batman Telltale games. Like you would absolutely hate
Yeah,
that.
you would not be a fan.
Yeah, you would not be a fan.
It's funny because I bought it
Uh-huh.
and I haven't played it
Yeah.
because it was on sale, so I
Oh,
bought
okay.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You would not be a that. You
Oh,
would not
I know you'll be glad you didn't pay full price for
I
it
am
once you play it.
disappointed that I plan on playing this thing that I'm going to be disappointed
Yeah,
by.
you'll
Well, the
see-
reason I bought Telltale games is because I'm not good at video games, right?
Right.
And so I can
Yeah,
push
so
a
you don't
button.
have to do anything.
So I was going to push a button and then watch the movie play.
Right,
I was
yeah,
like,
right.
I appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
you will like all that. Like you'll play it and then you'll go like, I see what
I'm about to
Brandon's
say,
talking about.
overall, Telltale is a very, very good game from like most of their stuff.
I like their Guardians of the Galaxy. I got
Yeah,
that.
they had a
that
really
was
good.
good.
Yeah,
and of course The Walking Dead. Was
yeah. Walking
great.
Dead, obviously a classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Batman one. I mean, you might like something in it.
Right, you're gonna like some.
I like the art style.
Right.
The art sounds good.
But
Yeah,
there's a story beats
I
and
can
stuff
already, I feel it. I feel it now.
where you're gonna go like,
I see what Brandon and Josiah.
Yeah, so
are talking about.
I'll give both Telltale and the Batman credit.
Mhm.
Neither one of those creators are the first people to come up with this idea that Thomas Wayne might not be everything I want him to be.
Sunshine and Rainbows.
However, I want Thomas Wayne to be a good guy. Every time that he was there for little baby Bruce, I felt some good stuff in me.
Well-
So I was like, I need that to stay nice and pure.
yeah.
Please.
To
What was
me,
the thing? Wasn't Martha a drug addict or something?
No,
She was
schizophrenic.
out of her mind. That's why that her parents paid for the Arkham Asylum because her maiden name was Arkham, which I
right,
don't hate, but I don't love. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
fine.
the Arkham Wayne connection. I forgot about
right.
that.
So to me, Thomas Wayne in this movie was not corrupt.
Oh
He
yeah,
made-
that's why I was
You're
glad
right,
that we got
right,
there.
Right, he made a
Which
mistake.
was one instead of zero.
Right. He made a mistake, and
Which is human.
Right.
He can be
Absolutely.
human.
Absolutely.
one, he made a mistake because he trusted someone that he should have never trusted, and that was Falcone.
Mhm.
Now,
I don't know why you would trust Falcone. Like,
because he knew that he could get things done. It was one of those state of fear that if you can justify it as that, like,
Sure.
why would you trust
Well,
a
and
mobster?
I'll even say this. I'll just say it. I had a friend in my life. All my other friends were like, that person's not a good person. And I kept letting it go, and I kept letting it go, and I kept letting it go, until finally, they did me wrong, and I said, oh, well, it turns out everybody I knew was telling the truth, which I always knew. Like, he's not nice, but, I'm sure there's some redeeming quality there.
I had a girlfriend like that, so
I think we've all
and so that was the point that I was getting at. Is like, it's easy to understand Thomas Wayne making a mistake.
Sure.
But what I didn't like was when it was inferred, and not even inferred, it was blatantly said by Riddler that it's your papa's fault, which he didn't even know that Batman was Bruce was the same person. Because
it's your father's fault.
And so when it was revealed, because Bruce believes that Riddler knows that he's Bruce.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's revealed to Batman that Riddler don't know, then he gets all kinds of cocky. He's like,
I'm feeling myself now.
Yes. But that is one of the things that, so what we're talking about is one of the main reasons why the city of Gotham is not getting better is because of the Thomas Wayne Fund. This fund is...
it's called the Renewal Fund.
Yeah, the Renewal Fund.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was funded by Thomas Wayne.
Right, it was funded, but yes, he's correct.
We got the point.
So what happened is Falcone murdered a reporter that was going to expose Martha Wayne.
Wasn't it Thomas Elliot?
They never gave a name in the movie, I don't think.
Pretty sure the reporter's name was Elliot.
Oh, that's cool.
So
okay.
I don't know if it was the
maybe.
unpermissioned Hush or Hush's dad.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, it would make sense if it was Hush's dad.
Yeah, okay.
Because then we could
I distinctly remember this part because my initial reaction when they said the reporter's name is Hush, and then
you mean Elliot?
Elliot, yeah.
No. I mean, like, I thought Hush.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you thought? Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope that you're right.
Yeah, me too.
Not that I want to watch a second The Batman, because I don't, but...
we reviewed it on the channel, though.
I know.
But...
If you are correct, which, there's every chance you are,
50-50.
then Thomas Elliot can use the fact that the Riddler revealed that it was Thomas Wayne's fault, and then put the pieces of the puzzle together. Be like, Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne. I mean, we grew up together. You're my enemy.
Bruce disappeared for a couple
and
months.
then it can be Taylor Lautner, and we can have werewolves versus vampires.
Hey, possibly, yeah.
All right, well, we went on for the whole roller coaster ride. I'd love to see it.
But yeah, so and this money is siphoning money and putting millions of dollars into Falcone's pockets, politicians' pockets, and like the police and police stuff.
This conspiracy is bigger than you know.
Right, and that's why the Riddler is exposing all of this because he was locked into a children's home where he suffered abuse.
Yes.
Yes. That money was supposed to go to the orphanages.
I love that he says to Batman, Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne, and Batman thinks he's talking about him.
Yeah, because you see him. Yeah, I love it.
And then when he says he wasn't an orphan, he lived in a mansion with a butler, and that's when Batman steps out and is like, "Oh, you're not talking about me."
Yeah, literally.
You're talking about a whole different person.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, you can see the sigh relief on his face.
Like literally the face. I will give it to Robert Pattinson. The face changed when we could tell that he knew that Riddler doesn't know who Batman is. I was like, okay, that's good facial acting with half your face.
Yes.
That was good stuff.
And the Riddler's exposing all of this. Now, this is why I say they're the most important three, because they're all orphans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne is, Catwoman is, and the Riddler. But each one has their own distinct.
He should have been called the Orphan.
Yeah, the Orphan. Hey,
I'm the Orphan.
And the reason why is because each one has their own distinct way of going about vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Batman believes that vengeance is going after people who have just done you wrong, just beating them up and stopping them, and that's it. Yeah. Catwoman believes in just getting back at whoever has done you wrong, period.
The individual.
Yeah, the individual. But Riddler is about anyone that's just in his path that he perceives has done him wrong, needs to go. There's no in-between.
Get him up back.
Yeah, you're right about the no in-between. I like that analysis of it. Yeah, the analysis of that aspect of his psyche. Because it explains why, since he can't take his vengeance, using the word, out on Thomas Wayne, he chooses to have the sins of the father fall down to the son, who literally had nothing to do with anything.
He was a child. He didn't know.
Literal child.
Right. But guess what? He's because he believes that he's wronged or Bruce Wayne's got an easy life, he needs to go.
Exactly.
And that's wrong.
I think that again.
Yes.
if the movie was tighter, if it wasn't like it lingered so much lingering.
They did a lot of dragging out.
Every time Bruce looks at Batman looks at anything, Pattinson, every time he looks at anything, it takes like 6 minutes.
I mean, so also another criticism that I have, I believe that this movie is named wrong. It shouldn't have been called The Batman. It should have been called Batman in little small name, like little letters, but Vengeance.
Oh,
big.
okay, yeah, Batman Vengeance.
Right. And then the next movie to me should be called Batman Night. And then the last movie should just be called The Batman. Because you know the infamous saying, I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman.
And I think look at you with your extensive Batman knowledge.
Right, but I believe that the series should be called the I Am trilogy.
Yeah, no, I like it. Well, it goes back to your, Josiah, your realization that... I did that way in case I put up a graphic.
Got it.
Because if they aren't seeing that I'm pointing to you, then they'll know that I'm talking about
They'll
you.
figure it out.
Anyway, so it goes back to your realization about how Batman Begins doesn't fit the naming it doesn't fit the name system of The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to understand if The Dark Knight Rises was the first movie, The Dark Knight's the second one, and then Nightfall was the last one, but that's not the case at all.
No. Mm-hmm.
So, that's a good shout right there, Brandon.
Yeah, because it really should just be called the I Am trilogy, and because it's about this Batman becoming, to me, truly Batman, because he has a realization at the end, and this is the one scene that's shot with him in daytime. Yeah. And I almost teared up because the Riddler's trying to flood Gotham City and
blows up the dams and
right,
everything.
and trying to murder everyone.
Yeah. All in one go.
Yeah, all in one go.
I love a plan, to be fair. This is the moment I realized, damn, Batman's a terrible detective.
Right, because even the Riddler, he's like, oh.
I gave you all the clues. How did you
I
not
love
know?
that disappointment on his face. It's like, oh, you're not as smart as what I thought.
Well, it's amazing because he
I've
thought they
given
were
you
working
more credit
together
than
the
you
whole
thought.
time. He thought they were working together. He's like, no, you're just special. He's like, you're slow. You didn't even know we were working together.
Yeah,
I said, bring him out to light. Brought him to light, and I killed him.
Yeah,
I killed him. I thought it was a team effort.
But
you did exactly what I told you to do.
And that's what I love, because vengeance can be distorted with whoever is. It's not complete, and it's not a symbol of hope.
Yeah.
That it should be, because vengeance is an emotional response. It's not. It's nothing that's here, because this Batman doesn't have necessarily the heart that that Christian Bale Batman had, or even the Clooney.
Kilmer.
Yeah, he doesn't have the heart, because he doesn't even realize certain things yet.
Absolutely.
Because he's just so driven and focused by, I'm just gonna stop criminals.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a flaw, but I love when he saves people, because he's hanging from the rafters and he cuts, because he finally realized after he beats the crap out of this dude that was trying to kill a Catwoman.
I was actually fully prepared for him to kill him. I'm like, at this point, this movie it wouldn't even surprise me with this movie.
But luckily, I think he was. But
well, the crazy thing is he already told her not to kill people earlier.
Yeah, right, 5 minutes ago.
But I think part of the thing was the drug.
Well,
it's definitely the adrenaline.
It's like the
I'm
adrenaline.
assuming he shot adrenaline.
It's what it's. I think that's probably the most logical.
Yeah. And he looks at the guy. He's like, "Who are you?" And the guy says, "I'm Vengeance." And right there, Batman realized that, or Vengeance realized.
He's like, "I messed up."
Right, like, crap. Okay.
Darn.
Right. So finally, to me, in the first time in this movie, he was truly trying to save people, be a hero. When he cut, be different. He cut, and then he electrocuted himself, but he still.
Yeah,
and to me, maybe I'm looking too far into this, but that was a symbolism of the death of Vengeance and him rising from the water like baptism.
He's so good at selling this.
My God,
maybe.
Like, maybe Brandon should do the trailer for the next movie. Like, my God.
What I'm thinking is, had I watched the movie with you guys instead of us all watching it separately, I may have come away with a better impression of it. Due to, mostly just as opinion,
right?
But both people's opinions, honestly. But you're really good at selling this thing. I'm changing my mind, but
right, I know. but it's when he gets the flare and he goes to the people that's trapped under the rubble.
Yeah.
And he reaches out his hand, but no one's taking it, because they don't know if he's really even a good guy.
Right.
But
which, to be fair, at that point,
right, he hasn't done anything necessarily good.
Yeah.
Well, Yes, like he wasn't a hero.
Yes.
He was a vigilante.
He was a vigilante that everyone happened to know.
Right. Just like what Ra's al Ghul said in Batman Begins, a vigilante is someone that's looking for his own gratification and self-fulfillment. He's like, that can be destroyed.
Brandon is good
But,
at this, man.
you know, a legend is someone, you know, it's an ideal.
Absolutely.
And then finally, the boy, a child, reaches out their hand because they recognize, hey, that can be our hero, or that's a hero.
This is our guy.
And go ahead.
And I was just gonna say it's so at the beginning of the movie. So first of all, the child is the son of the mayor who got killed literally at the start.
Yep.
And this whole movie, Batman, every time he's at a crime, he saw the kid I think 2 or 3 times in the whole movie. I remember distinctly
the beginning,
the funeral, and now.
Yeah, at the end.
And all those
First, second,
times.
and third act. Actually.
Yeah, literally.
Actually, spot on.
Yes.
But every time
I tend to think about things that way.
yeah. But every time I saw these scenes, my first thought is, okay, he's gonna go talk to the kid, tell him it'll all be all right. I've been where you are. He won't actually give all those details,
Of
but
course,
to get the
of course,
point. Like comforting words. He doesn't even do that. Like they just share a look. They
Well,
share eye contact.
it's almost as if. So you're talking about him consoling the child. It's almost as if the child is giving him the hope.
Yeah,
Right.
In the end.
And that's where I was getting at because
cool.
the 2 times he saw him, right? He saw him first as Batman, and then he saw him as Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the moment like he realized like I can trust this guy. I can reach my hand out and he'll take it.
Right.
And he'll get me where I need to go.
Right.
And like that kid reaching his hand out gave Bruce, Batman, yada yada, all the confirmation he needs that he can be the hero that this city
Right.
needs.
He can be hope because after that,
Twice now, you guys said, "I can be your hero, baby."
Yeah.
Enrique Iglesias keeps going through my head.
But also the movie, the theme changes finally. It's no longer the dun 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 dun. It's finally whimsical when he's reaching out his hand to help people, and he's leading them through with the flair finally to get help. And then finally the movie takes place in daylight. And
I didn't know they knew what daylight was in this
right.
movie. It was
And
incredible.
then, you know, he's actually helping people, like nursing wounds, and there's a woman
Getting people to the helicopter.
right, and there's a woman that won't let go of him.
Yeah, like don't leave me.
Yeah, please don't leave me. And he puts his hand on her hand. It's like it's gonna be
It's
okay.
gonna be okay.
And they fly her off, and then that's when he looks up in the sky and realizes, I messed up
Yes.
in my pursuits. I've been.
I've gone about this the wrong
You
way.
can bleep this, but I've just been an asshole to Alfred, to people, to anyone that he's come across, because he didn't have all the heart. He had he had the detective skills, but he didn't have the
He's trying.
Yes, he's
He
trying.
was getting good effort in.
Right, he's
To
gonna
be
make
fair,
mistakes.
they do prove he's not an idiot.
Yes.
Like,
No, yes.
He solves a lot of the clues, but he never. And I think has to do with him being really young, and like my friend said, this is year 2, not 10 years into being Batman. So he never looks at the bigger picture. He looks at what's in front of him.
Right, and I even
Totally.
laughed at the URL. URLata. And it's just like, what is it? And he's
What's
like,
it mean?
You're a rat. Oh, by the way, Penguin, Colin Farrell. Oh my god.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I have no complaints. He,
Not at all.
as limited as I've seen him, and he's probably in the most funnest scene, the car chase.
Yeah, that was great.
I love the car chase in that.
That's my favorite scene.
Once again, another redeeming feature of it was that scene. That was great.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
That was like the one thing where you can say, that was fun.
Yeah.
I could have watched that a second time,
Yes.
which I did.
Yeah, so much damage, but just everything, you know, it was just.
The best part was like, ha ha, I got him. And then the look on his face when he saw the Batman.
Yeah, just fly. And just hit him. I was like, wow, okay.
That was
Yeah.
great stuff.
So I also often use this term when speaking about wrestling matches, which is the facials were really done well.
Yeah.
When somebody was convincing me that they're in pain or that they're happy or sad or whatever the thing is,
Right.
their
Whatever
face
the emotion was.
is really selling it. And twice now we've talked about how Bruce or Robert Pattinson below the mask had really good facials, even just a little bit of the face we could see, and then also here with Colin Farrell in that car scene, his face changing upon the reveal that Batman wasn't finished off.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
And, you know, I love when he's walking. I know it's overdrawn out. He's walking to the car. I'm like, yeah, you could speed this up. I like it, but I can
Yeah.
see people have it. But I do like when he bends over, and it seems like he cracks a little smile, like you thought you were gonna get away, didn't you? Like it's that famous meme of the guy. He's like, "I'm not gonna lie, you had me in the first half." That's how I looked at it. Like, yeah, you almost had me there.
You almost got me on that
Yeah,
one.
but
So, not only did you say that I would probably like Penguin and Catwoman,
Mhm.
which I did. I thought they were both treated far, far better than they were in Batman Returns, far and away.
For sure.
However, you also said that I would like Carmine Falcone.
yes,
But I gotta be honest with you, the only thing I could see was the defective detective's brother who wouldn't leave his house, Ambrose.
okay.
So,
I love how that clicked for us at the same
So-
time.
Yeah, okay.
So eventually, I was able to separate myself from that. But whenever I see that actor,
Mhm.
John
Joe
Turturro,
Turturro,
yeah,
Turturro.
John Turturro,
Yeah, something. Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
Can't pronounce his
I
last name,
instantly
I'm not
think of the USA Network show Monk because he is
Yeah.
his brother.
Brother.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's
Right.
fair.
So do you know why I thought that you would like him?
Because he did a good job.
Well,
What,
besides, but because he was so slimy but deceptive. Because he didn't rule by necessarily like strength, like
Straightforward, iron
yeah,
fist.
like oh you're gonna come down here with your anger or fear, like that's he was more cunning, like
Yeah.
oh it's okay
He's
because
very, very cerebral.
The thing that you're right. That's a good analysis, and one of the good examples of it was he didn't blatantly come out and say Thomas Wayne was dirty. He just implied, maybe we're on the same page.
right exactly.
And it's like, maybe we're friends,
Maybe.
Yeah.
And it was good execution. Like I said, it just took me a little while to.
yeah,
Get into-
separate who he
yes, because I was like, ooh, that is so like evil to do that to a kid,
Yeah.
to say that your dad was corrupt or actually evil. That he's like, come on, kid, you think you
your
got
father
to
wasn't who you thought he
right?
was.
You think you got to this position because he was really a good guy, and he doesn't even know he's Batman.
Oh,
but
exactly.
but that's why he's doing this thing because he's like, my parents died and they were good people,
Yeah.
even though that's not like blatantly, but you can, and that's
We know it as the
Yeah.
audience, though.
Yeah, right.
and that's where it's like, man, this guy is actually evil.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good.
scum of the earth.
Right, and then he actually was like, you find out he's flirting with his daughter, like his
Yeah, it
biological
was a little
daughter,
weird.
who's Selena Kyle.
Oh yeah.
And then, but
Well,
he-
and again, that's why to me it's mostly an editing complaint that I have and pacing because I just want it to be shorter and moving faster because a lot of the elements, like you said, this scene, great, the car chase scene,
Great.
really great, and like I said, the hospital scene really redeemed the damn thing, but it just took so long to. It was all the in between before the stuff between the
It
good
was all,
scenes.
it was all the
Yeah.
fluff.
It was all that stuff in between that was making it feel like it was taking forever to get
right,
to the
well,
good.
well, this is why I think that it definitely takes forever because
and check this out. So
Uh-huh.
sometimes, not all the time, sometimes I have dessert first because I really want me some damn dessert.
You want to
and
do the
don't-
opposite of what your parents
Like,
always
don't get me wrong. I understand where they're getting. We gotta keep playing that theme so that when we change it later, you'll figure it out because you people are too dumb to figure it out. But I get where you're coming from. Oh, we gotta take our time and make sure that you realize he's being a detective. Okay, fine, I guess. But like, where's my dessert at? Like, I
right,
need-
where's the joy? Where's the fun?
Where's my payoff?
Right,
Exactly.
hell, we in Infinity War, we literally saw half the universe just get obliterated, but there was still some happiness.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of like levity. It's
Yes.
like you can't just be like, damn, this is a
Like, dang, that was a downer.
yeah, this is a downer. It's like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this.
Man.
Again. This is pretty sad.
Man, do I want to watch the second movie if they did it like this? Oh my lord.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like so this movie to me can go lower or higher based on the sequel
Yeah.
because if they keep on the same trajectory where he doesn't learn necessarily and he's still just kind of
He's
down
still
in the
just a stupid kid.
well, he's just down in the dumps
Yeah.
and gloomy. It's like
I think that's a good argument. So let's say that all of your analysis, everything that you critiqued comes to pass, and he has learned. Then it does improve what they did in the film. But yeah, also conversely, if he didn't learn a damn thing, then it makes
Yeah, what was
makes
the
all
point?
my complaints
valid.
Very
Right.
valid.
It's like, what's the point if, to me, this Batman is the first Batman because the one problem that even Oz mentioned it, the Christian Bale Batman retired, he quit. That's not
It's all over.
right. To me, this Batman probably is the first Batman where I will have the third film where he finally is in his prime. He learns everything. He knows who he is. He has
He's that
Bruce
dude.
Wayne persona.
He's a detective.
Right.
That can actually detect things.
Right. He doesn't make mistakes. He's a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And the final person that he needs to battle to me in the third film would be the Joker. Because if the deleted scene watch it, the Joker has the control of that scene, even though he's locked up.
Yeah.
He's the one in control. The Batman.
He's that dude.
Right. And I just think that
Who's playing Joker again?
The actor
The dude from
the Eternals.
The dude from the Eternals who can control people's minds.
Yeah, Druig.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah, Druig. The actor who played him.
Okay, I do like that actor.
But you don't see the Joker.
see how it
It's
is.
blurry. His face is blurry,
We can't
and
see.
then it's cut off here, and then
Cut
you
off by
finally
the
see the
darkness.
mouth, and then you see his mouth, and then you're like,
Okay.
okay, so you don't really see his full.
So is he like Joker mouth?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, you'll see the mouth. He looks
Yeah,
disgusting.
I'll look him up after.
Yeah,
His teeth are all messed up.
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'm about to say eyes will flash him a picture.
Actually,
What's up?
go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah. Oh, so
All right.
so
Talking,
yeah.
talking. Words.
But overall, this is like, once again, this movie can go up to me or down based on what they do in future installments.
What I was gonna say is his
Oh.
face reminded me a lot of Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermayhue's The Joker, Absolute Edition. That's this is, but this team, great team right here.
Yeah.
And there ain't a piece of paper that Lee Bermayhew touches that don't come out looking
Yeah,
beautiful.
that looks beautiful. Yeah, that
You're-
really does.
Actually, I'm opening it up. You're gonna be happy that you did.
Oh wow.
Pop a random page.
But yeah, so I agree with
Oh, good, this looks-
Brandon
wow.
that
Oh, wow.
the movie can improve or remain looked down upon depending on what comes next.
Right.
But here's why this channel exists, is for what comes next with Everlasting Survivors. This time I'm not going to say Volume 1 because as long as this campaign on Indiegogo succeeds and enough money is raised, then I can submit the script to the artist and more books can be produced. And there won't just be Volume 1. There will be ongoing stories. There'll be origin stories. There'll be spin-offs. There'll be so many great things that come out of the Everlasting Survivors universe.
Right.
If you like that, you're going to love this Lex Luthor story as well by the same creative team.
Oh really?
Yes,
Wow.
that's why they're in the same book, or same case together. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for watching.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Like I said, if the Quadrilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy get to 300 views each or more, then we will watch The Joker and review that movie.
Oh.
I have no problem rewatching the Joker. No problem.
I said this about the movies because I said originally that Oz would find Catwoman funny because how bad it is, but he's like, I probably would hate it. I was like, why? Because he says, because I know the background.
He knows what it looks like.
Of Catwoman, and I was like, oh, that makes total sense because that's not Catwoman. When you
Exactly.
yeah,
And-
Not even in the ballpark.
And
Yeah.
in their defense, they don't even call her Selena Kyle, so
Right.
that's a step in the right direction.
Precious Phillips or Patience Phillips.
Yeah, Precious Phillips is an actress, right?
No, it's a movie. Precious. No, yeah, Precious is
Oh,
a
okay.
movie. Precious Jones is the character's name.
Yeah, listen,
Oh,
I like Halle Berry, but I would
Yeah.
never, ever.
Yeah, that
watch
suit is
movie
nice
again.
in the
Yeah.
movie.
Every time it comes up, I pop up the wallpapers.
Yeah.
Just because, there ain't nothing wrong with taking a look, but we just don't need to watch the whole
Listen,
thing.
yeah, I really like Halle Berry. But God, that movie. Oh boy.
Actually, I'm probably loaning you these books because I think you're going to fall in love with Brian Azzarello. He's a really great writer. I mean, Lee Bermayhew does great art, but
Yeah,
Brian Azzarello, great writer. Anyway, I already wrapped, so I'm just going to cut and go to the
All right,
credits.
see you guys.
See ya.